That's my suitcase.
Good afternoon, everybody.
We were
Our
talking.
President James is Zooming from Texas up there, so he was a little concerned that perhaps his internet would not be good throughout the whole meeting. So he may chime in. I will be here. So we'll get through this. We'll get through this. All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
All right.
Well done.
Very good. Yeah. Nice. Just for you, Bob.
Well done.
Practice out over the last couple of weeks and got it in pretty good shape. All right. So as I said, I am filling in for James sort of today, but he will be chiming in from time to time. Barb, do you have an inspirational message for us today?
I do. These are the 5 W's of life. What you are is what makes you special. Do not change for anyone. What lies ahead will always be a mystery. Do not be afraid to explore. When life pushes you over, you push back harder. Where there are choices to make the one you won't regret. Why things happen will never be certain. Just take it in stride and move forward.
All right, so the agenda today, we have a guest speaker who will be kicking things off. I'll introduce her in 1 minute. Then installation of officers, Bob Moran, or Lieutenant Governor, will be handling that part of the program. And Bob, I think your speech is what, 35, 40 minutes or so, the installation speech?
2 hours.
Okay. Well, we look forward to that. And then we'll do a little bit of a catch up on club business committee report outs and anything of interesting value. And we're on our way for another week. So glad everybody's here today. Our speaker today is Trina Johnson Brady. She is going to provide a little more in-depth background regarding her history. She's the community mobilizer and the manager for the LINKS program, which is the Wilson Area Communities That Care Coalition. And if you had a chance to go in, they have a very nice website that tells quite a bit of in-depth information regarding the organization. So Trina, welcome to Kiwanis. We're glad you're here, and we'll turn over to you.
All right, so I'll tell you a little bit about LINKS first. So LINKS Family Center was created by members of the school district of Wilson back in 2012. And it was created because they were seeing more of a need coming into the district of families that had needed support, either with food or clothing or access to services. So LINKS has been around since then. We was kind of revitalized a little bit in 2021 when we received a PCCD, a Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency grant from the state to create a community coalition. So LINKS before that was, and currently still does, we have a food pantry every Monday. We went from about 20 people a week coming to the food pantry a year ago to yesterday or Monday, we had 42 people. So we, almost 100% increase in just a year at our food pantry. We are connected to Second Harvest Food Bank, and we receive the majority of our food from there. But we also provide a weekend meal bag program to our students called Warrior Bag. And we have 125 Warrior Bags that are going out to the students in the district every single week, even over the summer. And that is because there is a need there for these families to have sustenance for their children over the weekend and over holidays. With that, we also do a holiday meal program. We do Thanksgiving. About 60 to 75 families request those, and they're the families that receive the weekend meal bags. We also have a summer playground program for 4 weeks for children from Avona Elementary and Wilsonboro Elementary. Williams Township runs their own summer playground program. So it's only 2 of the 3 elementary schools. We have a really great time. And the Wilsonboro police come and do demonstrations, and the fire department, and we have a great time there. And I helped to run that. The other thing we have is a garden, and we're working on trying to get the garden back to being a learning garden, a teaching garden, right? In the last few years, because of the pandemic, when they couldn't have kids on campus and things like that, when they were doing at-home learning, it went to more of a volunteer model, but we're working really hard on getting that back to being a teaching garden. And we just had an Eagle Scout finish a project over the weekend of creating new beds and creating a composter with a roof over it. And he did an amazing job. So we're revitalizing our garden as well. Now, our Communities That Care Coalition, that is something completely different, but it's also, again, to encourage and enhance the children in the school district to have healthy behaviors. And Tanya is the vice chair of our coalition, our community board. We have a community board, and we also have a board of key leaders. The community board meets frequently, once a month, and then we give reports and updates to our key leaders about 3 or 4 times a year. And we have, because of this community board and the members that we've accomplished a lot in a very short period of time. We are in a 5-phase process. And right now, we started in 2021, at the very end, in December of 2021, and we're already in phase 4, moving into phase 5. And I'm going to explain a little bit about what we're planning to do. If we could bring the slideshow up.
Oh. One of them up there is texting me something about they can't hear.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I can move this closer.
No, I don't think that's.
No, that's not the problem. It's working. So to go to the second slide, our mission statement.
Oh.
So one of the first things that our coalition did, our community board did, was work on creating a mission statement that's going to lead us. It's our vision that we're leading, that is leading us into what we want to do for the children. Wilson area is an inclusive and nurturing community that provides opportunities for success, purpose, and well-being to empower our youth to become respectful, confident, and healthy adults who contribute positively to society. And then what we're basing our work on is something called the Pennsylvania Youth Survey. Has anyone here ever heard of the Pennsylvania Youth Survey? It's administered in almost all school districts in Pennsylvania once every 2 years to certain grades. It's grade 6, 8, 10, and 12. We had 100% participation in the Wilson area school district in 2021. And that's the basis of the programs that we're looking to put in place. We know 2021 was an interesting year for kids. So we're going to be getting some data in 2023. They're taking it this fall, and then we'll get it early next year. And we'll have to readjust our numbers and our goals depending on how things have bounced back and how things have changed since the end of the pandemic. So you can jump over to, so the reason we do the Pennsylvania Youth Survey data, and we use that, is that it is not a percentage of how many kids are self-reporting that they're doing drugs and how many kids are self-reporting that they're doing violent things in the local neighborhood. It's predictors. It's the predictors of risk. So the way they answer the questions, it shows that there's a chance that this kid is going to get involved in drugs. There's a chance that this percentage of kids may be involved in have depressive symptoms and be suicidal. So it's not, when you look at the percentages that we're showing you, it's not that 50% of the kids are suicidal, or so anything like that. So don't be alarmed at that. It's just predicting the risk. And so that helps us because then we can look at the root causes of the problem behaviors and then look at ways to address those problem behaviors before they start. Okay, you want to go to the next one? So there's 4 domains in our PAYS data: community, school, family, and peer and individual. We are working closely with the school district. The school district is addressing the things that are in the school domains as part of our coalition work. So our highest risk factors that we found in the PAYS data from 2021 are low commitment towards school, 63%. And this is not an abnormal number when you look at other districts. This is, especially during the pandemic, this was a higher and elevated number. Perceived risk of drug use. So that's perceiving that, you know, everybody's doing, like a kid saying, you know, I don't do drugs, but I think that, you know, a whole bunch of people around me do. And that might not be accurate. Parental attitudes favorable towards antisocial behavior. Antisocial behavior leads to violence, gambling, drug use, and things like that. And low neighborhood attachment, 51%. That's concerning to us because low neighborhood attachment also can lead to, you know, graffiti and you like things in your local community not being taken care of. And then that leads to other things like violence and things like that. So we have other elevated risk factors. The only one on here that I want to address is the depressive symptoms. That's not a huge number compared to some of the other ones we were seeing on that first screen. But we wanted to make sure that we address that because we know that there's a big link between depressive symptoms and drug use. And we wanted to address that before it became a problem. So a protective factor is something that will make a risk not as risky. So if a kid has a whole bunch of risk factors stacked against them, but they're involved in a school athletic league, and they're getting involved and they're socializing and they're receiving rewards for what they're doing in the local community, and they're connecting to a trusted adult, that is going to offset the level of risk that they have. So our lowest protective factors, religiosity is 20%. This is not too alarming because, I mean, yes, it's alarming, but that is kind of the number across the state. So that's just something that we're seeing statewide and I'm sure nationwide as well. But we still do have, we're trying to encourage more faith communities to be part of our coalition, but we have 2 really active faith communities and a 3rd one has just joined, and they have, they're looking to enhance their youth programming as part of our coalition. Rewards for pro-social involvement and opportunities for pro-social involvement. The one that's the most concerning is rewards for pro-social involvement in 2017 was in the 60th percentile. And by 2021, it has come down to 34%. So that means a lot of things stopped during the pandemic. You know, a lot of activities stopped, but it was going down consistently even before the pandemic. So we want to make sure that there are opportunities for children to get involved in activities, to be rewarded for their involvement and bonding to trusted adults so that they can understand the clear standards of behavior that we're looking to encourage. So we're going to go forward a couple slides because this is a lot of data. Let's see. There is an increase in homelessness and transition in the district. That is becoming much more of an issue than it was. We have, Lynx has a community development block grant from Northampton County to provide a social worker who works with, she also does hours with the school district, but she works with families and other individuals in the district who may not even not have children with, in the district, to connect them to services and to help them find housing and all the different services that they need to be healthy and live in the community. What we're seeing now is that there is no rental assistance money in Northampton County. that there's not, Lehigh County has it, Northampton County doesn't. She's been reporting back to me that she's, been gone to many different organizations and is not finding any supports for that. And we know how the housing crisis is happening, Lehigh Valley wide, and the cost of rent is just going up exponentially. So that is a big concern. And Easton is seeing this much more, correct, Tanya?
Yeah.
In Easton School District, they have an organization called Family Connection that's similar to Links, but it's more robust. And they have been reporting much higher numbers of homelessness. So we wanted to include that in our data. So these are the risk and protective factors that the coalition decided, the community board decided that we're going to concentrate on, that we think are the things that we can help to make an impact and a positive impact on. So low neighborhood attachment, perceived risk of drug use, depressive symptoms, parental attitudes favorable towards antisocial behavior, and rewards for pro-social involvement. You can see here 63% in 2017, 53% in 2019, and 2021, it went down to 34%. But the county is 32%. So we're almost at the county level. And, we were much, much higher before that. So those are the things that we're concentrating on. You want to turn to the next slide. I already talked about some of these concerning changes in risk. You want to skip over those. Depressive symptoms, one of the reasons we wanted to include depressive symptoms in, even if it wasn't a huge percentage, it's still, significant. And if you can look at the second one, 42.1% of students reported they felt sad or depressed most days in the last 12 months. That's something we want to change. And that's something that we're hoping that our pro-social involvement and our activities will help to change. So I'll skip. And then this is more about substance use. I'm going to skip through that though. This is the connection of depression and substance use. So if you look at when they report 30-day alcohol use, that is more concerning than the alcohol lifetime use. So alcohol lifetime is, I had a drink at my cousin's wedding a year ago, like it's not something that they're doing every day, but 30-day use is, that it's more acute. So if you look at alcohol 30 days in the district, is 8. And then that's if they have no depressive symptoms. But if they have moderate depressive symptoms, it goes up to 13.6%. And then if you look at high depressive symptoms, it jumps all the way to 26.3%. So that's, again, why we want to include depressive symptoms, because we know that it can lead to substance use. So there are strengths. There's definite strengths in the Wilson area community. We have seen that from the data that's reported in the PACE survey, that the students are motivated to follow society's expectations and standards. There's a strong protective factor of belief in the moral order and a low level of the risk factor rebelliousness. So we are looking to work on enhancing all of those things that we're seeing that are positives. And then, so pro-social involvement as a protective factor. I've talked about that a couple times. There's a model called the social development strategy. And it's basically, if you give a child the opportunity to learn a skill, to receive rewards for that learning that skill, they will connect to trusted adults, feel bonded to the community, and abide by those clear standards of behavior that we're setting. This was developed by the University of Washington, who also developed the Communities That Care model, which is the model that we're in. There's a program that we're looking to include that as part of all the different programs that we're picking, which was probably about 15 programs that we're looking to put in place to offset these risk factors, it's called the STAR Social Development Strategy Model. And let me just give you an example. If there's someone in the local community, we have the church that is right across from the high school. They're looking to start a knitting class because they've heard that there's some students that are interested in learning knitting. So there's trusted adults that all have their their clearances and things like that to work with, to volunteer to work with our students. So they do a knitting class. It takes about 8 hours for the students to master that skill of knitting. They feel successful. They receive rewards for learning that. But then also we take them to the local Humane Society and show them why, when they knit a blanket, why it's so important for that dog that's in the shelter that's homeless. Or we take them to the neonatal unit and show them why it's so important for those little caps that they're knitting for the preemies. And they understand that they're part of our community, that they're giving back to our community, and they're bonded to the individuals that are taking them places, and then they understand that clear standard of behavior. So that's basically the model we're looking to put into place. We're going to be starting with the Kellen Foundation. I'm not sure everyone's heard of the Kellen Foundation. So we worked with them over the summer. They came into our summer school program, and every kid that was in summer school at the intermediate school went out to the garden, and they were planting tomatoes, and they were harvesting garlic, and they enjoyed it. They really had a great experience. So that was kind of our demo, and we're looking to do that more with this expanded garden that we have. But there's many other different ways that we can do that. There's an example of someone who was making fly fishing lures and teaching the students that, and it was very successful. And so it's the kids that don't usually get involved in athletics and the other types of things that are going on at the schools. We want things, have things like this that are of interest to all students, so like different cliques of students. So that is basically our presentation today. Does anyone have any questions? It's on the campus of the intermediate school, the Wilson Intermediate School. So that's back up behind Lidl and Aldi, like overlooking the children's home.
So with your survey, Wilson's an interesting school district, right? You got Wilson, Avona, Williams Township.
Yes.
Are those numbers all of those three schools mixed together, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it was district wide in those certain grades, the 6th, 8th, 10th, and 12th.
Okay.
Yeah, it was at every school.
Kind of very different.
They are,
communities there.
yes, they are very different communities, and there are some issues that can happen all across
Sure.
any different community.
Yeah.
The person that created the STAR Social Development Strategy Program, she was a chemistry teacher in Maine, and it was a very rural area, and they were shocked, at the numbers of parents providing alcohol to students and things like that. And it was something that their district wanted to change, and it was, it was this beautiful suburban type tourist community. And they still found the same level of risk.
We have a little difficulty with Wilson because of transportation purposes, for especially William Township.
Yeah.
Because there is no buses that go, so if we offer programs, these students that would need our services wouldn't be able to get home
After school.
After
Right.
school, so we have some obstacles, and there's not a community center in the area, so we're trying to figure around stuff to do, so it's not. It's a daunting,
Yes.
we'll figure it out.
Question.
So right now we're looking at the programs we want to put in place, and we're developing an action plan, and that transportation will be part of our action plan.
Right,
Are you looking for a community center, or
I don't,
is that
that would be a
is that
tricky
a
question.
need?
It is definitely a need. We don't know if that's in our realm of being able to, for links to be able to do.
There's a brand new youth center opening in Palmer Township
Okay.
that you would be able to get use of at absolutely no cost.
Okay.
It's located on the Shren property,
Mhm.
right near the Miracle League Field. It's the youth center out there. It's brand new. Now, the only thing you have is a transportation issue
Right,
on Green Pond Road,
okay,
but you're pretty close to Wilson,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
okay? And that's, owned by Palmer Township.
Thank you for a wonderful presentation. It's amazing the depth of knowledge and understanding of what's affecting our kids with your survey and realizing the reasons and going after the reasons rather than just going on the trying to address the symptoms, just like Ken said.
Right.
Is there something that our club can do? We have access to the foundation, but are there events that we can do hands-on activities that will go towards developing those social connections?
Absolutely. If there's anyone here who would like to be part of that STAR program that we were talking about, that would like to work with students or know someone that has a skill that would be fantastic for our students to learn, even if it's something like you wouldn't even expect, like fly fishing lures, anything like that. We're looking for members of the community who would like to be involved in that either. And then these would either take place. We're looking at Muser Library. We're looking at Fellowship Lutheran Church, which is right by the high school. And we're also looking at the schools in the district as places where these things could happen. The other thing is we're having we had a Touch a Truck event in August, which was amazing. We just kind of threw it together and it didn't take much planning at all. And we had about 300 people attend. We gave out 150 backpacks and all kinds of school supplies. And we had emergency services and Lehigh Valley PBS was there, and everything was completely free for anyone that came to it. We're looking to do something like that, but also still being a fundraiser for Links with our Photos with Santa event in December. So it's December 9th in the morning, 9:30 to 12. And we're looking to bring in more community organizations like we had at Touch a Truck, so that when someone comes, they can have this wonderful experience, but they also have these community resources there. With, oh, well, I didn't know about that. And, that would be really helpful if I could get a $30 reduction in my internet, every month. Like those are things that people don't know about. So Kiwanis would be definitely welcome to be there and, just let us know what you think would be, the most appropriate for an event like that. And, looking towards getting getting all of those programs in place. We may need some additional funding for programming, through your foundation. And Tanya, can you think of any other ways? Was serving on the community board or as a key leader?
No, I pretty much the same thing. Trina said. What you guys already do with the what are they called? The program you do in the school, the elementary school, the leadership program. The leadership program.
Oh, yeah.
So they have. Can you explain that, Trina? Sorry, they have this program.
Through Kiwanis International, they have these service leadership programs, the ones that our club sponsors. It's called PAPIs. It's specifically with the elementary schools in the Easton School District, and it helps them to develop leadership skills, helps them to better their study habit, helps them to learn about teamwork, helps them to understand how to be a good citizen through doing community service. And not only in their classroom, their school, but the neighborhood and the community that they live in. So it's those type of things. Matter of fact, you're talking about developing a learning board. One of the things our Shawnee K Kids is doing right now in the courtyard, where the kindergarten in the first grade would be in the pod of the Shawnee. They're still in the process of developing a learning garden up there where there's, they put posters up with either a word or a math problem or something like that. And the kindergartners and the first graders go around to the different spots where these things are posted and try to come up with the answer to this specific problem, what the definition, or if there's a definition up there, what the word is for that definition, or like you say, a simple math problem, things like that. So they have a learning guard. They're working on a learning guard up there in the courtyard over by where the first grade and the kindergarten are. So we have that. I'm also trying to get that. We had five of these programs at one time, 4 of them in the elementary schools, and then one at the Easton area middle school, which we call the Builders Club, which is the next level. Actually, we're in the process now of starting a cake visit at the St. James. They're on the
That sounds
1900 block of
like a perfect fit.
Trina, thank you so much
Sure.
for sharing this with us.
I have-
Here, you're going to have lunch and open for questions afterwards, I would assume.
And I have some handouts about the coalition and also about we're doing a collection for the holiday meals and for our ongoing weekend meal bag program and a list of types of things we're looking for. So if anyone like any handouts.
Okay.
All right, thank
very
you so
and
much.
Okay, next item on our agenda is no stranger to our club, Mr. Bob Moran, Lieutenant Governor, and he will be conducting the induction of our new 24 members or officers. So Bob, will turn it over to you.
Can you hear me? Next question is, Mr. Owens, are you listening?
Yes, sir. 100%. Ready to report. It's great to have you with us, Bob. It's always
Remember
great
years
to-
ago, Barb was complaining about Bill, said he's losing his hearing, said his hearing's fine, he just doesn't listen. I want to thank you for the invitation, and this is also a very nice time of year for Kiwanis. It's our new year. We get to refresh and start looking at another year. And I noticed that when you started, you did a little thing of in history.
Mhm.
Well, I've always done that at Kiwanis, and last week I did Emmaus there last Wednesday, and I looked up what happened that day in history, and it was loaded with things that happened, the invention of the Corvette, and on of that day in history. So I looked up July 18th, 1918. That's when this club was started. So I went to October 4th of 1918. What happened on that day in history? Nothing. Not to be frustrated. I said, okay, let's move forward 50 years to October 4th, 1968. What happened on that day in history? Nothing. So I ran it up to October 4th, 2018. Tom Brady threw his 500th touchdown pass. I didn't think that was a whirlwind of excitement for history of this. So I went to 2019, nothing. 2020, nothing. 2021, nothing. And there was something that happened in 2022. Most notable, Aaron Judge hit 62 home runs as a New York Yankee, topping Roger Maris. So with that list, we are going to mark in history that on this day, we did inductions at Easton Kiwanis. So there you go, this day in history. All right, I have to do some lieutenant governor work before I get started, because this is our new year. Now, you know that we have a new governor, Conrad Schlesinger of the Lock Haven Club, and he starts today, off and running. Our governor-elect from the Allentown Club is Tom Hart, their club president. Some dates. August 15th through the 18th will be the Pennsylvania District Convention in Reading, Pennsylvania next year. And it will be at the Doubletree Hilton in Reading, Pennsylvania. Now, at the convention, those of you that were there were a lot of, oh, Reading. But Kevin Thomas stood boldly and said, this is a really nice place. And I think this is like a 4 or 5-star hotel, the Doubletree in Reading. He promised it would be excellent. He won't be there. He resigned. All right, now the next interesting
Resigned, but he's
thing.
on the convention committee.
What's that?
He's on the convention committee.
He is on the convention committee. Next, June 25th through the 28th. Walt, you might want to write that one down. 2025. The International Convention. You've been to a couple. It'll be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Yeah, so it's coming to Pittsburgh, June 25th through the 28th in 2025. And the host of that convention will be the governor-elect Tom Hart. So that'll be kind of nice. All right, we all know that Kevin Thomas and Michelle March, both of the state office, both have resigned their positions. How long was Kevin how many years?
37.
37 years. Okay, so now our new governor, Mr. Schlesinger, has a new office. I sent this out. I don't know if everybody got this email or not, but we have Kevin's job has been divided into 3 part-time positions. District Secretary will be Melissa Simpson. She has 20 years of experience and as an administrator for the Kiwanis Youth Foundation, and she is a member of the Kiwanis Club of Harrisburg. The district treasurer, Ben Osterhout, he has a long resume with Kiwanis. He will be the treasurer. And the meeting manager is Casey Corbett. And she is with the South Philly Kiwanis Club and has an impressive resume of meeting and event management. So we have 3 replacing 1. So it is definitely a new year. Next thing, I received a letter for all clubs from Tiffany Gallo. She is our trustee for this region, Region 6. And I'm not going to read all this. I'm going to paraphrase it, and it's not going to be a surprise. But on the top of the list is membership. Now, I joined Kiwanis in 1981, and on the top of the ballot concerns was membership. So that hasn't gone away. So that's still at the top of our list. And they recommend, or Tiffany is recommending, that all clubs have a membership committee. With that, I've got now I will tell you, doing this or being involved in this for 3 years, there's not a lot of club secretaries that change. And how long have you been secretary?
20 years.
20 years. I know in our club, many of you know our secretary, Ernie Hoffline. She was installed as our secretary 3 days before the Magna Carta was printed. And at I think 90 years old, she is looking for another 10 years. All right, with that, to the outgoing officers, we would like to, as a club and myself, recognize the work that you have done. And we are glad that not only have you fulfilled your job as an officer and a director of this club, but are retaining your membership and will continue to provide leadership and good spirit and membership to your club. And we would like to thank those outgoing officers for their work. Okay, we have 2 directors coming in. Walt Howell, you want to stand up? Bill? As new directors of this club, the board of directors handles the business of this club and the important responsibilities. You will set strategic directions, implement club policies, approve the club budget, support committee activities, and oversee the administrative tasks of this club. Myself and the members, thank you for accepting these responsibilities with the desire to see that this club has a very, very good year. And we thank you for stepping up, and it is my pleasure to install the two of you. Welcome to your new director. Gary Tempest is not here, right? Okay. Gary is, I think, 20 plus years as your secretary. I'm sorry, treasurer. He's in for another lap. Rosemary. This is unusual. I have never inducted a secretary. You're the first one. In Kiwanis, the club secretary is the master of details, the heart and soul of the club. Your role in handling club affairs, the details of the club, the board meetings, the reports, the correspondence, and records is essential for this club to run smoothly. On behalf of the district and myself and the members of this club, we want to thank you for stepping up and taking this important role, and you are formally installed as the club
Please
secretary.
step forward. There's more to it than this. Here is your club secretary pin. And here is a certificate that I made up for you. That says most valuable player. This certificate is awarded to Rosemary Cucker as the most valuable secretary of the Kiwanis Club of Easton, whose job is to make the club president and the club look good always with monthly reporting. You have now a secretary report that you're charged with. You are now presented the secretary minute that I have been keeping going for way too long. And I will turn over to you this Kiwanis official secretary badge book bag, whatever you want to call it. And actually, I had it expanded, so it carries so much stuff in it. It's got an expandable pocket. So you may now be the carrier of that.
Very nice. It's got a lot of miles left in it. Yeah.
It does. Well, it's got the secretary's book in there, which I normally don't always bring to meetings. But when we before COVID, that was with me every week, filled with brochures and pamphlets and note taking, because I used to take all the notes to write the newsletter with and cameras and things. So now it's in your possession.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We wish you the best.
Would you like to present me with my pin? I ask club secretary. You can give me my past club secretary pin. Wait till we get the photographer up here.
I guess this will be the changing of the guard.
I've been waiting for this pin for a long time.
Oh.
Thank
Thank you.
Past secretary, thank you.
Thank you. for all the help. Learn.
Okay.
I'm always there to help, you know that.
Could I add one other thing? Congratulations, Rosemary. Yeah, just one other item for Mr. Walters here. Bill,
That's fine.
due to your,
Nobody's Mr. in Kiwanis.
okay, Bill. Thank you for your many years of service. In fact, when this certificate of appreciation was done up, we weren't quite sure how many years you did have. So it just says many years of service, okay? So I want to read this to you. Congratulations, William D. Walters, for your many years of service as secretary of the Kiwanis Club of Easton. With all greatest gratitude for your many years of service as secretary of the Easton Club, your hard work and dedication have been exemplary, not only for our club, but for the community and all the children's lives you have touched, as you continue to improve the world, one child and one community at a time. Thank you, Bill, the Kiwanis Club of Easton family.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You can have pins here as you're moving along.
Okay. Next, moving along, Terry Thomas,
Yes.
you are vice president. Terry, come on up, as an officer of this club, you will contribute your vision, your ideas to the leadership team. In absence of other leadership, you will be called upon to possibly preside at club meetings and work directly with the board.
Come on over, Bob. There we go.
At this time, I would like to formally install you as the vice president of the Easton Kiwanis. Thank you very much.
There's your club vice president then.
Thank you. Do I get to wear two of them?
Well, I had asked.
I did, I told you.
Well, then we'll take it, no, give it to the secretary for next time.
Okay. great.
Okay, bulletin editor. You're missing a bulletin editor pen. Or do you have a bulletin editor pen?
No, I don't have one of those.
Now you've got your bulletin editor pen.
Gosh.
Get that one too.
Yeah, there we go.
Scott Fisher.
Stand and recognize.
President-elect or vice, president-elect. Scott. As an officer of this club, again, you will be required to contribute your vision, ideas, and your leadership. In the absence of the president, you will be formally requested to preside over club meetings and direct board of directors meetings. It is herein I formally install you as president-elect of the Easton Kiwanis Club.
And your president-elect pin.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
On the screen.
I'm doing this one next.
Oh, okay.
In a very, I know that, I heard this was a very hard fought election. I know there was a lot of campaigning done. I know there was small fortunes spent. But being victorious at this point in time, I want to congratulate on his victory, Neil Gallagher, for winning the post of immediate past president. Neil? Your club benefits from your past presidential work and your work as a member of the board of directors. Your experience as club president in the past years empowers you to be an essential mentor and colleague to your successor and a valued advisor on club business. It is my pleasure to present you with your past president office. And by doing so, you are still charged to share your wisdom, lend a hand, help the director of special projects, and to remain a member of the board of directors for an additional year.
And he already had his pin.
I have my pen.
Want to congratulate you.
Now, wait, the newsletter, one of the editors has to have a picture. That's why she lets me take the pictures, okay? Want that box to end up there?
Are you there, Mr. Owens?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me okay?
Can you hear me now?
A little bit. Can you hear us?
I hear you loud and clear. Yes.
As long as you're listening, that's all we need. Just nod. Sir, taking your second lap, you have been elected to the highest office of the Easton Kiwanis Club, and the office, it is the highest office that these club members can bestow upon you. This is an office of great honor and responsibility. The success of your club in the new year will depend upon your leadership at club and board meetings, and as your council, and you will inspire your club's committees. In our community, you are the face of the Easton Kiwanis Club. Guided by your club's vision, you and your board will set goals to improve your membership, club experience, and increase the impact of your club service to our community. On behalf of myself and the members of this club, we thank you for dedicating yourself to an additional year in leadership, and you are hereby installed as the president of the Easton Kiwanis Club for 23-24 year. Congratulations.
Thank you, Bob. My right hand
I am done.
person.
With that,
The wind
that
beneath-
concludes my part of this
The wind
meeting.
beneath my
And,
wings.
I want to thank you, every one here. You're always kind to me, and it's always a joy to come to the Easton Kiwanis Club.
While you're here, And since you didn't stay for the final day at the convention, I will present you with your certificate of election.
No, well, thank you very much.
I brought it back knowing that you were gonna be at our installation, so I wanted to bring along your certificate of installation for you.
Does this mean I have to do something?
And you probably didn't get the governor's pin because he handed him out for breakfast.
Oh, no, I did not.
Yeah, see, I picked up on, oh, yeah, I'll take care of you. And do you know whether you're distinguished lieutenant governor for this past year?
I have no clue.
Well, I'm bestowing upon you a distinguished lieutenant governor pin.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Cleaning out my pin supply.
Yeah. So once again, thank everybody. I congratulate the officers. And I salute your president. Good luck, sir. Have a good year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks for taking your time to.
My pleasure.
come
Thank
today.
you.
Greatly. You're welcome anytime. I know I speak for Mr. Owen as well. So, all right, just a couple of items here. We're past 1 o'clock, but just a few housekeeping things. We'll move on. Did anybody receive their Kiwanis magazine yet? Okay, such as it is.
Yeah.
We're shrinking as we speak. But anyway, good material in here. Very good material. And also,
Thank you, Scott.
yeah,
Thank you, Bob. Great to see Ken back.
Sir.